Before he established the orbit for Oggia, Galileo needed to check on his repairs to the carbon dioxide filter. He didn't have a sleep before making landfall. He wanted to make sure that he'd arise from his slumber. The diethylamine did appear to be doing its job, but the majority of it had now combined with the carbon dioxide. To ensure that the rest of the diethylamine would absorb as much carbon dioxide as possible, he stirred it carefully before returning it to the air filter. He then checked the oxygen levels inside the cabin, which now down to 17%, which, whilst this was starting to be a bit of a concern, was nowhere near the critical level. Due to his background in general fitness, Galileo's body was routinely able to cope with an oxygen level of 14%. In extremes, he could cope with a level of 12%. They prefer to avoid that. These precautions now taken, Galileo piloted Oggia into the orbit and prepared to rest. He needed all his wits, making landfall on hope and coping with whatever might come after. But Galileo rarely dreamed under normal circumstances. This time, while sleeping, images of a large yellow sun rising over fir trees, its light being reflected back of a shimmering blue lake, filled his resting mind. These calm and soothing images were then transformed as people came from all over the place, cutting down trees and burning them, causing the soot to pollute the lake and the clouds of ash to blot out the sun. Galileo woke with a start and sat bolt upright, sweating profusely. Was it a bad dream, or a premonition, or just the prospect of landing on a brand new planet? He chose to believe that it was the latter. Never been one for premonitions. The future could easily be altered by the minutest of circumstances. It meant it was virtually impossible to predict the future. Galileo moved to get readings of the settlement on the surface of Hope. The information he accumulated here would be his best guide to approaching whoever was on the surface in the most positive manner. The inhabitants of the settlement appeared to be some form of humanoid life form, walking upright on their hind legs. A more detailed assessment couldn't be made from this altitude. Judging by the number of structures that they had constructed, the population numbered somewhere between 500 and 2,000 people. The people appeared to derive all their nutrition from farming. There appeared to be no attempt at animal rearing or hunting. Land that was fairly well watered didn't appear to have any form of advanced irrigation on the farmland. Buildings appeared to be clustered near to the rivers and streams. Presumably, this would be their primary water source. The crops, though they were differentiated into different areas, different crops had no walls, fences, or hedges, either separating each crop or marking boundaries. The crops towards the centre of the settlement area didn't appear to be yielding as much as those on the edges of the settlement, possibly indicating soil erosion, depletion, or deterioration. Whoever these people were, they didn't seem to be professional farmers or settlers. Surprising, an outbreak of disease or famine hadn't wiped out the colony. He theorized that the craft, rather than landing on Hope, may have actually crash-landed, or at least made some kind of emergency landing, depositing a batch of unprepared people onto the surface.